Today, upper body part 2 of the week. So we're going to go ahead and start off with seated rows, but we're going to change it up a bit. Instead of doing 3 by 12, we're going to move to 4 sets of 20. Reduce the weight some, really start focusing on our contractions, the pump. We're going to try to reel it back in from chasing numbers for a little bit and just really work on trying to get the most growth we can while we're eating at a maintenance level right now. So let's go ahead and get into this. Alrighty y'all, so instead of going into T-bar rows like we've been doing, we're going to make a little change here. And we're going to go into a barbell or a Smith barbell row. See how we like these. I like the T-bar rows. Having to set them up, and with this style T-bar row handle I have, they just don't feel that great. So let's go ahead and see how these feel, see if I can get a bit more better contraction and a lot more isolation in it, not having to stand and support that weight at the same time. Alrighty guys, so we did those bent over chest supported rows. I like them. They target a really good part, my inner traps, my upper lats, but it's not comfortable being bent over and like crushed into the pad like that. So maybe next week I'll try something where I set this up straight up and I'm pulling with a cable in that same motion. We'll see if maybe we can do something like that and it works for the feeling I'm shooting for. So those off the table. So now we're going to go ahead and move into a chest supported version of a face pull. Want to give a little more variation here. See if we can get some rear delt and upper lat engagement a little differently. So let's go ahead and give these things a try. Alrighty guys, so we went ahead and tried a few different cable positions, couple bench angles on those face pulls. I could see how doing them that way you get a lot more like mid-lat engagement, but you definitely lose all of the rear delt and like inner trap from trying to do them that way. Not a big fan of it, at least for what I'm trying to target in that position. So we're gonna go ahead and leave a standard face pull there still, unless I come up with a different exercise that's giving me that same style contraction to really work those rear delts. But with that, now we're gonna go ahead and move on to incline bench and move into the chest. That felt good. Making that change in the bench angle, man, I could feel the tightness in that delt where it inserts into the arm, but no pain. That feels super awesome. So as for that, I think that's gonna help fix that and help me get moving again on my incline bench, because that was 2x5 at 185. That's the heaviest I've incline benched in a very long time. So that is exciting. So we're making progress there. That's a 15-pound jump over what we did last week at 170. So now we're going to go ahead and move into across the chest press and keep on hitting the chest, get a big pump here, and keep on rocking. done with across the chest presses. So now we're going to move into arms, which is preacher curls. And then next we're going to go ahead and superset rope curls with tricep extensions. And make a nice little superset. Get a real big arm pump going. So we're going to go ahead and shoot for the 25s and the preachers and see how this elbow and bicep takes that extra weight. I think I did it last week, but I don't remember. I didn't note it down. So let's go ahead and hit this. Alrighty guys, so with those 25s, that's right on the very verge of what still feels kind of comfortable in the left arm. The wrist starting to feel a little bit better holding the weight at that angle. The tension in the ligaments themselves, not too bad. They're a little tight, but acceptable. So now, we're on to our rope curl, tricep extension, overhead, superset, 60 pounds on both stacks. So let's go ahead and get these things banged out. Now that we're done with our superset, I think next week I'm going to go down 10 pounds, but turn that into 4 sets of 20. Get the volume pumped up on those as well. 3 sets of 10 to 12. Just doesn't have a good enough pump feeling to it. So it kind of sucks to have to be decreasing the weight and going up in volume, but if my body responds to it, then it's worth doing it. So that's what we're trying to figure out in the next 8 weeks, is decreasing the weight and getting more reps per set in, worth doing. boy. Feels effective. And I like making these little test exercises, changing things up. Makes everything feel slightly different. And I can really start honing in on my weak points, feeling what's really hitting those spots I'm trying to target with the most effectiveness. So, with that, guys, make sure you're out there playing around with your exercises, plugging things in and out every few, like every 8 to 12 weeks. Change things in and out as it doesn't feel as effective. Keep it fresh. See what works most for you. So, everyone's going to be slightly different. They're going to respond different to less sets with less volume, less sets with high volume, more sets with less volume, weights going up and down. So you got to play around with it. It'll take you a while to get it figured out, but once you do, you're going to be real happy with the overall progress you're going to make. Because at first you can do anything, and it's going to work and make progress because you're going to go through newbie gains. But once those start to disappear, you're kind of stuck in this point of like stagnation almost, because now your body's adjusted to the strain and the stress you put on it. So if you're not switching out exercises or exercise order, rep sets, and weight, you're just going to get to a point and stay there and get stuck. So with that, make sure you're working towards your goals. And most of all, just don't be a lazy fuck.